Well, Heidi Ho Stampers, Deb Valder here. Welcome back to my studio. I always love having you stop by for some craftiness. And today we're going to do some watercoloring. You know how much I love to watercolor, and this is going to be so much fun. It's going to be a technique called no line coloring, and I love doing it. I think I do it a little bit different, but I love the way the stuff comes out. So I'm going to do a little series on this because I want to show you different techniques on each one of the cards, and I have a bunch more that we're going to do. But this is the stamp set that I'm going to use, and the stamps in here are absolutely beautiful. So let's get started. We're going to start with this one right here. It's fun, it's easy, it's fast. You can even leave the sentiments off and just make a whole bunch of them, and then just put them in your box and grab them when you need them. So let's get started. I'm going to bring in my stamp positioner here and my watercolor paper, and we're going to start by stamping that first. So like I said, this is some watercoloring, doing no line coloring, and what you want to do is to have a very neutral colored ink that is I like using the distressed oxide because it is reactive to water, and it just works really, really well. So I'm going to take and first start by stamping on my image with my clear pad right here, and then I'm going to take my distressed oxide, and I'm using antique linen, but you can use any light color. I like this because, you know me, I always start with a yellow, and I just like the way this just works. All right, so let's just stamp that down there. It doesn't have to be perfect because you're never going to see this at the end, but it does react to the water. So when you're coloring with your watercolors, it's going to kind of mix in a little bit. It's really very, very cool. Now to clean up my stamps, I'm just going to use a wipe. And I'm going to leave this in here because I'm going to be doing some more afterwards. All right, so there is that. And now what we need to do is to put our little border around here. And what I mean by that, if you look at this, I have a border that's around here. And I did it on quite a few of them. Well, actually, I did them on all three of these. I didn't do it on one of the other ones. But I have a little border around here, and I do that with my repositionable tape. So let's bring our Make Art Station in. Let's lay this on here just to hold it temporarily. And what I want to do is to line up this with the grid mark. All right, all the way around. So let's just take and line this up, side to side, up and down. I already cut some of my repositionable tape, and I'm going to show you how to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover up a little border here. So I'm going to go up about 2 of those little grid marks, okay? So that's a 1/2 inch there. And it's going to be perfectly straight because I'm using all of my grid lines here. Okay, there's that one. And then here is this one. Now, I'm not sure if I said this or not, but you can actually take and reuse this tape over and over and over again. So don't throw it away when you take this off of here. That's really important because we like to maximize all of our pieces. So we're just going to take and reuse it. And you can cut it down if you need to. You can use it for just about anything. And I just like I said, maximizing, maximizing, maximizing. All right, let's make sure that's straight all the way around. We've got a 1/2 inch border. Perfect. All right, now we're ready to start coloring. So you can either start with your background, which is what I like to do, or you can take and you can use your flowers first. But I like to start with my background, and I'm going to bring in my watercolor pans. Let's bring this over here. And let's start with our little water tray here and some water. Bring in my 3 brushes, and you are going to need all these sizes, okay? So for the background, I'm going to use the number 6. For the flower tops, I'm going to use the number 4, and for the stems, I'm going to use the number 1. So let's start with the number 6 because we're going to start with the background. We're going to get a lot of water onto our piece right here. All right, so I'm just kind of drenching the background a little bit. It makes the watercolors go longer. All right, so I'm just going to take a little bit of my yellow and saturate that, and then just add some water to it. Now I'm going to kind of stay away from the flowers a little bit. Now, depending on what you want as far as color goes, do you want a dark background? This is where you would just take and add more or take more water away. All right. Let's add a little bit of green down here at the bottom. Give it a little bit more. Now you want to get it close to the edges or you're not going to see that really pretty background. All right, so the little frame that goes around it. Alrighty, and then we can add or take away from it. Let's put a little bit of dark in there. There we go, just to make it a little bit different. And watercolor paper is so awesome because it just absorbs the ink or the water, and it allows you to kind of manipulate stuff. All right, so there is our first color. All right, and now we're going to go to, let's go to doing the flowers next, okay? So with this one, I'm just going to take and use a couple of my pinks, and I have my number 4 brush, and what I'm going to do is just pick up some of my pink. Let's get a couple of them. Let me grab a paper towel here. All right, move this over for you. Alrighty, I just want to make sure you can see everything that I'm doing. Like I said, I've never had watercolor experience, so people are probably cringing when they see me doing this, but I like doing it. It comes out the way I love doing it, and that's the only thing that counts, right? Alright, so let's just grab some of our pink, and we're just going to kind of dab it on here. I want to make sure I have enough water. Now, when you go to the edge of this, if you go outside the lines, which is what I like to do, it doesn't matter because you don't have a defined image on there. All right? All right, let's just grab. And you're just going to take and just keep dabbing this. Let's go back to my pink here. Giving it that really soft look. Now I'm going to go into the green so that I can let this dry, and then I'll come back. Just added a little bit of yellow there. All right, so let's go into our number 1 brush. All right, and remember, don't worry about not staying inside the lines because you're going to take and you're going to make your own watercolor piece. All right, so I'm just going to kind of brush up. I'm just going with a lighter color green right here. Okay, so now what we're going to do is go into a little bit of a darker green and put in some of the details. And you can see that on the card right here. You can see the detail. Okay, so now I'm going to take this little brush right here. Make sure you've got enough water on it or it's going to drag. All right, so what we're going to do is to just kind of take it and brush it up. You see how I'm kind of going outside the lines just a little bit, just to kind of bring the whole flower in together. And that's what I said, when you're doing this, it's really kind of fun because there are no lines. You can absolutely go outside the box here or outside the lines. Okay, this is the part I absolutely love to do. All right, so just a little bit of a different type of watercoloring. It's really important to keep your brush very wet. All right, let's take and go back to our pinks right here. I'm going to add the little bulbs right here. I forgot to do that. Okay, let's go and get a little bit of a darker. Now remember, with watercolor, you want the sides to be very soft, which is what this is. All right, and then let's go back with some of our green again and just flick up the sides right here. And we're going to do it to these little guys right here too. Very, very good. I'm very happy with that. Let's just do a little bit of dark right down here. There. And that's all there is to this. That's all there is to this. It's that fast. I added just a little bit of yellow there, but do you see how it just kind of gives it that really, really pretty, soft watercolor look? Now, there's one more thing that we're going to do before I started hearing all of this. We're going to bring in our metallics, and these are our metallic watercolors, and I love using these. Now, you can take and do it while the border is on, or you can take and you can do it You can do it after to get some of the splatter outside the border. Let me just show you like this. I love the way that looks, so that's the way I'm going to do it. So what you do is you take off your tape, and like I said, we're going to reuse this tape, so I'm just going to lay it off to the side here. This repositionable tape is really good for just about anything. Okay, and okay, so there's that. Now what I need to do is I need to kind of grab one of my brushes. So I'm just going to grab the number 6, make sure it's nice and clean. It's got a lot of background color in it. All right, now I'm going to take some clean water and I'm going to take my metallic paints. And what I do is I try to match the colors that are on here. So for this one, I'm going to take some of our copper because I think that that is absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to take some of my copper. I'm going to mix it up really well. And when you put your water in here, you can actually see it kind of fizz up. You see it fizzing? It's so, so pretty. So I want quite a bit of it because what I'm going to do is just take my brush and tap it. And this is that absolutely gorgeous rose colored. It's beautiful. And it also reacts with water. So it just makes it look so very pretty. And that's all I'm going to do with metallics, okay? And let's take and put everything aside, and now we need to just trim it down a little bit and start mounting it onto our card. Oh, we need to put a saying on it. So let's grab our sayings. I've got these pre-mounted, but let's cut it down first. We're going to take and trim this little guy down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim it down to probably 1/4 of an inch off on each side. I'm going to take my sand eraser. I should have let that dry a little bit more, but that's good. We're good, good, good. All right, sand erasers take everything off. All righty, so now what we're going to do is to mount it. So I'm going to bring in some of our brand new holographic rose gold paper, and I cut out the middle so that I didn't waste all of this piece. So I'm going to use this for another project. I'm going to bring in my base card right here and just mount everything after I put my saying on it. All right, so let me just grab my sayings. Good, good, good. I've done quite a few of these, so I just kept everything mounted, and we are good to go. All right, grab my ink, my little teaspoon of fun ink here. There we go. So pretty. Whoops, take this off. My wow pad here and just clean it off a little bit more. Okie dokie. All right, so there's that. Now we're going to take and put it together. So I've got my base card, I've got my rose gold layer, and I've got this little piece right here. It's all splattered with our metallic paint, or our metallic watercolors. And now I'm just going to add see how I'm not wasting all that paper? Well, now I can use that for another project. and this color picks up some of the colors that are in here. Now, when you're doing watercoloring like this, what I want you to do is to make sure that you do have enough adhesive. I'm stingy on a lot of stuff, but when it comes to watercoloring, I really do like a lot of adhesive because you don't want your paper to warp. All right, this is a good grade watercolor paper, but I just want to make sure that you have, oh my gosh, that is so very pretty. And no two watercolors ever come out the same. And that's the beauty of it. You really don't know what you're going to get until you're done with it. And I'm just very, very happy with it. Absolutely happy, happy, happy. It's really not hard. It's just a little bit of dabbing and a little bit of this and that. I just love it. If you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of us. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube videos by clicking on the subscribe button. And right down there below, there is a little bell. If you click on that, you'll get our videos as soon as they come up. Hit the thumbs up button and please share this with your friends. You take care. Make sure you stop by for the next in the series. And we enjoyed bringing this to you. Take care.